Oh man, look over there. AUD USD. That's the one I've been waiting for. I've been hunting AUD USD all week, and now I think I might finally get my chance.
What's up, traders? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing some more live trading. You guys seem to like these kind of videos. And so what I do in these videos is I film one of my trades start to finish, no matter what. Whether it is a winner or a loser, I will post it up on YouTube for you guys to get value out of, hopefully, and to learn something. And we can all maybe learn from doing these. I know I certainly have done so just by filming and commentating on my own trades. It's helped me as a trader. So with that said, what we're going to be doing here, these are real trades, nothing fake about this, no demo profits, no fake, rented Lamborghinis, none of that, BS stuff that you see out there on the internet. Today, we're going to be talking about real trading. We're going to be showing a real trade start to finish. I don't know if this trade is going to make money. I don't know if this trade is going to lose money, but together, if you stick to the end of the video, we'll see how the trade unfolds. Now, I've been having some pretty good success recently with AUD USD. I shorted back here, I covered around here. I shorted here, I covered in here, I shorted here, and I covered around here. So I've been making some pretty good gains on AUD USD. So I hope I don't jinx it by filming again to see if I can capture some more downside here, but I will illustrate why I took this trade from a technical analysis standpoint. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pause the video and I'll come back once things get started. So let's look at a technical view first of all. Very clearly, you can see there is a trend line that I've drawn here across the top showing a lot of rejection here to the downside from AUD USD sellers. And I am one of them. So I'm looking for downside here on this currency pair, betting long on the dollar and short on the Aussie, right? Because whenever we take a currency pair long or short, we are betting on one and we are selling or betting against the other. And in this case, I am betting against the Australian dollar in favor of the US dollar. Why am I doing that? Well, we'll talk about fundamentals in a second, but first let's talk about technicals. Again, we have a momentum driven market to the downside. So I am looking for shorts, and sure enough, price, we closed out of that previous trade for a profit. So I was waiting to see if there was an opportunity to re-enter. And sure enough, we came up here and we printed this little candle and I was like, okay, that's kind of nice. And we got a little bit of follow through, and sure enough, I came back to the charts a few hours later, and we had rejected nicely off of this trend line. And we had also tagged the 50% retracement. So you can see I drew from here to here, giving me these three levels, the 38.2, the 50%, and 61.8. There's nothing magical about these levels, but they are generally a nice little pullback opportunity setup. And so as price came back to that 50%, I said, okay, I'd like to be short. Just show me a little sign of rejection. We got it. And now I am willing to jump back into the trade where I shorted here. Yes, maybe a bit late, but still worth the risk in my view. So if price comes flying back up, I will still only take a small loss of around $100. Nothing huge. I am taking this on two accounts, so you may see me at the end lose a little bit more than $100. But either ways, we will be showing the whole trade start to finish. And like I said, these are real accounts, no BS, no nonsense. You can see it on my my broker down there, Oanda. So with that said, what we're going to do here, that is the technical layout, right? You got the pullback to the 50, you got the structural level of resistance holding, you got that downtrend, and here is the other side of things. Here's the A1 trading community. If you're not already a part of this, if you take a look here, this is where I share every trade that I take. So win or loss, I'm putting this up on YouTube for people to see, and within the group, the same thing. I'm not here to tell you that I win every trade because I certainly do not, but what I'll do here is I'll show you the technical breakdown. We already talked about that. And then this was just a repeat from my previous trade, which was inflation numbers recently were quite high in the US, could lead the Fed to continue its aggressive tightening stance on monetary policy, and could even pressure them to consider rate hikes sooner than expected. So lots of bullish momentum here. There's the picture that you guys can see on my screen as well. Entered my sell, put my stop loss, etc. And now the goal is to try and trail stops here. Now, one thing I want to add is that the dollar is very strong today. So it's kind of peculiar that AUD USD is not coming down harder. And so I actually was interested in maybe taking the Aussie short, as it was one of the few currencies actually appreciating against the US dollar today. So I'm taking that as an opportunity to try and sell into that AUD strength in favor of the dollar. We will see. We've got some news coming up for AUD, so I expect I'll probably either be rewarded quickly or I'll get stopped out fairly quickly as well. So with that said, there's the trade setup. What we'll do now is I will pause. Before I do that, let me just remind you guys, if you like these trading videos, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. The best way to let me know you want more of this style of content is to leave a like on the video. The more likes a video gets, the more I tend to pay attention to it, as in, okay, people want this kind of content, cool, I'll do more of that. So thank you for your support, and we'll pause the video, come back once things get going. All right, guys, and here's a quick update for you on the AUD USD position. You can see that from my entry point, things have gone pretty well so far. So this is my initial entry. I'm currently sitting, if we zoom in there, at $275 or so there on the trade overall on this position. And then I have another trade open on my second account. But my goal here from now, or for now, is to basically continue to trail stops from here. So what I've done is my initial entry was back here. You can see we took a little heat on the trade, but then overall the market did go in the direction that I was thinking, which was to the downside. And at this point, what I've done is I've gone ahead and trailed my stop loss down into profit here. And I wanted to give just a little bit of insight as to where I put that. So what you can see is we can just mark this level here on the chart. So you can see that level did end up being retested. So price came up, we broke through it, and then actually found a little bit of resistance before we dropped really nicely. From there, we kept going and going and going. And since then, today, we've seen price kind of react to this area. So what I'm going to do is, because we've seen a lot of reaction at that recent area, you can see some structure there. I've basically gone ahead and used that as my level to trail my stop further down. So my idea being, price came all the way down. We had that clean sell all the way down to this level here. We got a little bit of a pullback there, found some resistance in this zone, and have continued since then. So my logic here with my stop loss placement is I have gone ahead and moved that stop loss just above where that previous spike was able to get to. So the reasoning, or the idea here being, if price does decide to come pull back, I really don't want to see price do much more than a pullback, into this general area. I'd really like to see it sell off before it keeps going. Now, if it does keep going, if it starts reversing like crazy, then what I'll do is I will go ahead and have this trailing stop in place to secure profit on the trade. So at this point, I think on this particular trade, my worst case scenario is about $115 of profit on this account, and then some amount on the other that I'm not too sure about. But more importantly, in terms of a pip distance, that's about 38 pips there to the downside. Now, AUD USD is a currency pair that doesn't move a whole lot, so that's pretty decent to me. And more importantly, in terms of my initial risk, this is locking in over 1 times my initial risk, which is ideal, right? And my goal is to get to that point where I can continue to trail stops. And, if the trade continues to run, by all means, I will continue to trail stops. But if it reverses, then all good. I will also take profit. So best case scenario here now, I wish every single one of my trades was this good. You guys, if you watch the channel for long enough, you know that not all of my trades are this good. And a lot of times I get, swindled out, or I get a break-even trade, or price goes against me, things like that in these trading videos. So they really are unscripted and real trades. I don't know what's going to happen next. So that's why I'm being transparent with this stop loss. This stop loss is in place in case price does decide to start reversing and coming back up. I'll lock in that 40 pips or so here on the trade and move on to more trading opportunities. So from there, the goal now is to just be patient, give it some time here, and we'll come back once things get moving again. All right, guys, and we are still going along here on this AUD USD trade, floating about 275 bucks still, but we actually did get a little bit of a move to the downside here that I liked, and I ended up trailing my stop loss just a little bit more. It wasn't much of a move, but I was like here with it, and just decided, the way this level is reacting here, I really would prefer not to see price go back much more than that. So if price does start to swing all the way back up to here and tag maybe past that level, I'm just going to stop out and take my profit. At this point, the worst case scenario is still pretty good. Should be around 160, 175 bucks. which is, you know, it's not a huge profit, but just one more trade behind me. And either ways, you know, I am happy with it. Now, if price does decide to continue lower, then of course I will take that as a possible indication to continue to trail stops lower. And right where we sit currently, I'm watching this level closely because this level here, we've had support, break, right? Retest. Now the question is, can that hold in favor of the downside? Ideally, I would love to see that, but it is a Friday, so sometimes Friday gets some crazy price action. And my goal here is to, you know, if the market permits, continue to hold this trade into the weekend. Ideally, I would, right? Because ideally, this thing continues to drop and I just say, okay, more to the story, we'll keep going, trail that stop further. That's my next level that I would like to see cleared a little bit more. Again, maybe if we break through those lows yet again, then of course I will trail that stop. That would kind of be the plan, roughly speaking, right now. But again, worst case scenario is still pretty good. I'll still take a reasonable profit if price does reverse all the way up past levels of structure here. And I actually could even move this level out a little bit more. So you kind of have that zone, right? So ideally, like I said, price should, in my best case scenario, hold below those levels and continue to roll over further. So my plan here is, like I said, if we can break back underneath, I'll look to trail stops more. If price comes up, I will stop out of the trade. And again, this is kind of what I recurringly do in my trading, is I'm constantly just saying, okay, if this happens, then I'll do this. And if this happens, I'll do this. I'm not here to predict the market's every move. I find that incredibly stressful. My goal is just to let the market work for me if it wants to, and if it decides to go against me, I will take as much minimal damage as possible. Or I guess that didn't really make sense. I will take as minimal damage to the account as possible. So that's my goal here. From here, it is just a waiting game, so I'll pause, give it some more time, and we'll come back with an update. All right, you guys, it's been a few days, and I apologize for not making more updates on this so far, but it is Thanksgiving here in the US, so I'm actually just getting back in town long enough to film this. This is an update on my trade, and my goodness, you guys, the trade just kept going. And this is going to be a good example video, I think, of one of the reasons behind why I use trailing stops. And this is why I love them personally. They suit my style quite significantly because, you know, most moves, when they happen, they go, you know, maybe you caught the sell and then price starts to reverse. And, you know, people say, you know, I wish I would have closed out profits here. Or maybe the next time you sell and it goes right against you and, you know, you stop out quickly. But, you know, next time maybe you have something that goes like this and, you know, you eventually trail out. And in most situations, the honest truth is that you end up leaving a lot of profit on the table because you didn't choose to take profits at a low. But every once in a while with a trailing stop, you get a trade kind of like what we're seeing here playing out on AUD USD. You get something that goes down and it goes down and it goes down and it goes down, and it keeps you in the trade for a very long time until it finally stops you out on your trailing stop, right? I'm imagining that we were trailing that stop behind structure. Eventually you get stopped out and it can possibly yield a massive return. And that's kind of what's happening here on my AUD USD trade. Now, of course, $720, I understand that's not a incredibly massive figure or anything like that, but considering I have this open on two of my different accounts at the same time, I think I'm maybe up $150, $200 on the other account, which is a smaller account that I'm trying some things out on. But either ways, still being up, you know, $800, $900 on this position here with just a few, you know, really just a few minutes of execution, maybe an hour or two of research beforehand. And in the end, now we're floating a trade that I have currently got a open position that is 220 pips, which is quite substantial on AUD USD. This pair doesn't move that much. So 220 pips is a pretty dang good move. That's 3% of the currency exchange rate between the Aussie and the US dollar that I've held on to. So of course, I'm not here to just pat myself on the back because not all of my trades are this good. There are plenty of videos. If you watch my channel long enough, you'll see me take losses. It happens to me frequently, but every once in a while and quite infrequently, I get a trade like this, which I've been in now for 10 days. Yep. 10, 11 days here. That's a long time to hold on to a swing trade for me. And it's because I'm holding on to a winner. And I am actually not saying that this trade is ending. It actually could keep going. But let's just update you guys where I'm at. So I am sitting up $720 on this account. And like I mentioned, $150, $200 on the second account. But I have actually moved my stop loss here all the way down above structure here. Now, like I mentioned, it is the holidays right now, so I do have intentions behind this. This movement here, I don't know how permanent it is. It is probably on a little bit lighter volume as you have less US traders at their desk. But if this price does come all the way up here and break through the high of today and yesterday, right there at 71.50, I'm going to basically stop and take my profits there. So that is the condition to get me out of the trade. Now, where would I continue to move stops? Well, I would like to see a significant break underneath the low that we seem to be forming. And again, like I said, it could keep going. I'm not here to try and predict what the market is going to do all the time. I am here to react to it. So if price does decide to break lower, then great. I will look to continue that holiday spirit, trailing some more profits and continue on going. But if price does decide to reverse, which very well could, it's gone quite a bit here. It's gotten quite stretched, but I've seen moves that last longer. So I'm not going to say the market can't keep going. At this point, I'm in a great spot, floating over $700 on the trade. And worst case scenario is I close out if price starts to break out and reverse. So with that said, what I'll do is I'll pause the video once again, and we'll come back once things get going. All right, you guys, and we are officially out of the AUD USD short. This thing lasted several days. Let's see how many it actually did. So it lasted a total of 13 days, which is a long-term trade for me, or at least in terms of my Forex swing trading account. That would be considered long for me. So happy to have stayed in this trade as long as I did, because in the end, we were able to close out a profit here of $611 on this first account and $149 on the second account. So between that math, something like, I don't know, 750, 760, not bad. Pretty happy with that overall, and definitely will take it. So let me just recap. So I did have several trades that were good on the AU pair or AUD USD. Recently I took this trade here, caught a little action there, was able to catch something there, and of course the sell here that lasted all of this time. And I just want to show you something, because this is a good little lesson for both for some of you guys maybe, but also for myself. The thing about trailing stops, which is really cool, is that most times, the not cool part is that most times it cuts you short, right? It takes advantage of the fact that, sometimes you're in a trade and it's going really well. Maybe you should have taken profit here, but then you end up taking a much smaller profit. But every once in a while, this is the example that I'd like to show in terms of a trade that lasts a long time, goes much further than I was expecting it would. And because I'm able to trail stops, remember we were able to trail stops here and here and here and just continue to walk it down. It went a lot longer than we expected. And because of that, that ability to use trailing stops, we gave the market continuous chance to keep going, and it did. It doesn't always do that. It's actually kind of rare for it to do a move like this, but when it does it, it makes a huge difference. And today's profit of like 750 bucks, that's pretty dang good for really not a lot of work. I mean, I took the trade, I filmed for a little while, and I just made short little updates. So to make 750 bucks out of that, I will take it on top of the other things that I'm doing for money. This is why I think Forex is awesome, because even, somebody who is working a full-time job or has other things going on in their life, they can still take advantage of some of the trades that are going on out there in the FX market. And this has been a swing trade for me. Like I said, it's no more than 30 minutes to an hour worth of work on my part. So I will take it. 750 bucks or so, give or take. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoy these types of videos and you want to see more of them, the best way to let me know would be to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more free trading content. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching today's video. There are more videos available on our channel here and here, so go ahead and click into that for some more free trading content. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next time.